What's up, everybody? It's me coming at you again with another political rant. This one is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be about each of the things that you could vote on that come up this Tuesday, November 4th. And the reason I'm making is because I just made a video yesterday about how people should be going out and voting to improve the city, the state they live in, and just care about those local issues. And so I kind of realized that a lot of people probably will just go out and vote, maybe just for one specific proposition that's on the ballot. For example, the legalization of marijuana. There might be a lot of people that are literally going to go out and vote for that one thing. And I just figure if you're going to go out, you're going to vote, you might as well know about each of the things that are going to be on the ballot. So I'm going to try to do this in one take, this video in one take in under 8 minutes or so. Hopefully I can make that happen. So, yeah, let's see here. We got Prop 1, which is AO 37. So AO 37 is an act that's designed to regulate and standardize the way that these labor union workers are paid. For example, this is including the fire department and EMS services, as well as the police and even like the IBEW and stuff. So basically, what it's going to do is it's going to remove the striking rights of these unions. So, and I can see why, because if you're going to have the city controlling the budget of the way that they're paid and their benefits and things like that, then you can't have, before, if the city did something they didn't like, they didn't have any way to stop them, or the union could just strike out, and then they would have to fold and go back to whatever the unions wanted. So, I mean, you can't have police officers, fire department people just going on strike, because then you have a very unsafe situation on your hands. So, I mean, that's pretty much necessary. But anyway, it limits union pay raises. It doesn't actually, nobody's going to get a pay cut, but it's going to limit how fast somebody gets raises, and it's going to standardize and make it consistent in the way that these people get raises. It's going to eliminate bonuses based on seniority or performance. I hope that means they get bonuses at all. I don't know if they will still be getting bonuses. I assume they'll get bonuses, but it's going to be like across the board, more consistent. And let's see. Oh, it also this is one of the things I really don't like is it allows for outsourcing of contracts to private businesses. And so what happens is you have like these private EMS services that if they win the bidding war, they can replace the unions for certain job contracts or whatever. So I don't really think you need to do that, because I don't know, you're creating a situation where you don't even think you can regulate your own departments or these labor unions well enough to keep them from. I mean, maybe they're just trying to save money, because that's literally why this has been put into play, so that the city can save money, or at least try to. And it's just trying to make all of the things coincide with each other, like the pay rates and the raises and how those work, and the bonuses and things like that. So I think the biggest negative of this, and if you're gonna vote no to repeal it, you're voting because it takes away from the voices of these people that are in the workplace, the union members. They may lose a lot of representation. The city says that there's still going to be a committee of people that talk to another committee of people that actually will, they'll work things out and try to make the best situation possible. But I think taking credit out of the voices of the employees themselves is maybe not the best approach. But I guess this is what they've seen fit. And then the positive would be it just standardizes and makes everything more consistent as far as like what they're paid and like what's expected of them hour-wise, and like how they're going to work around holidays and bonuses and things like that. So anyway, that's the one that I actually am the most torn about still. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to vote one way or other, but that's basically what the positive negatives are. Ballot measure 1 are. Alright, so let's see. Ballot measure 2. I think this is the one that most people are showing up for. This is the legalization of marijuana, and I really feel like at this point you're kind of beating a dead horse talking about this, but I'll just go over what I think are the main points to have. Okay, so it's legalized for people 21 and older, so it is going to be regulated in that way. So sometimes people will make this argument like, well, if it's legalized, kids will get it. And the thing is that it's illegal right now, and kids get it because it's unregulated, and people, the only way to get it is to grow and sell it illegally. And so if you have a criminal that's going to be the main distributor of marijuana, he doesn't care who he's selling it to. He just wants to get money, right? So, I mean, that's a bad argument to make, that just kids will have be getting their hands on it all the time. It's going to be regulated by the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. So there's going to be, just like when people get DUIs for being over the limit on alcohol, you're going to have to come up with some way, and I'm not sure how they exactly plan to do this, but they're going to have to come up with some way to get to have a consistent way of punishing people for driving while stoned. And, maybe sometimes people think that their employees are just going to come to work stoned all the time because it's legalized, so I don't think you can... maybe, because you can not hire somebody because they smoke cigarettes, so you could probably still do drug testing for private employees, but let's see here. I just think that there has to be ways to find out, like, how, because right now it's like, if you do a pee test, it's like, oh, you've smoked weed in the last 2 weeks or so, and so that really can't be a reason that you'd fire somebody if it is illegal. I mean, maybe you could do the mouth swab, because I hear the mouth swab is like I think it's like a 24-hour thing. The THC will stay in your mouth for about 24 hours or so. So maybe they use that or something. They just have to figure out a way to actually like have it make sense in a way, like when it comes to getting people fired or putting people in jail for illegal use of marijuana, or illegal. Yeah, it would be illegal use of it, but it would be used and then done like a DUI situation or something like that. Also about legalizing marijuana, the thing is that it's still federally not legal. So when you make it legal as a state, then the feds get involved and you have this whole sticky situation where it's like you gotta ride both sides of the fence. So that's another random little point. Okay, so we got ballot measure 3. This is the minimum wage increase, and this one is, I think it has to, like, you gotta kind of think that minimum wage needs to go up a little bit, because I'll just throw a couple numbers at you. It's a living wage right now in the United States is considered to be $15 an hour, and minimum wage is barely even half of that. It's $7.75 right now. They want to change it to $8.75 as of January 1st, 2015, and they want to increase it to another dollar after that. January 1st, 2016. So over 2 years old, it'll become $9.75, and then after that, it'll be adjusted for inflation. So so there's this insane statistic that says that I read that says if minimum wage was adjusted for the productivity of the economy, or with the strength of the economy, starting in 1968. So if minimum wage kept increasing with how the economy was, it would be $18.42 an hour right now for minimum wage. And the thing is that that's enough to make a living on, right? And some of the arguments against increasing it is stuff like, well, if you increase minimum wage, then it encourages people to live like, they shouldn't be striving for minimum wage, but you of course, no one's striving to get a minimum wage job. But if you make more money, you can probably save up for something, maybe save up for school. And at least at the bare minimum, if people make more money in a capitalist society, it works best if consumers can spend money, right? So if they can spend money, like if they make enough money so that they can actually put food on the table and have a place to live and use public transportation, whatever. If they can do that and still have money left over, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to put that money back into the economy, and that's how capitalism works and functions. So if you're saying that people just deserve to, like people in the very lower class working 2 minimum wage jobs, that's where they should be, then I don't know. It's not going to be a very strong economy, in my opinion, because no one's going to get off the ground making that much money. Some of the negatives, or one of the negatives, like the only one that I really heard that makes any sort of cogent sense, is that if you increase minimum wage, like say somebody at McDonald's makes more money, then the burgers are going to be more expensive there. And maybe that's true, but if it is, it's because the employers are choosing to increase the price of those things. Because paying your employees' wages is only a portion of your expenses as a business. You have to pay for the upkeep, you have to pay for the supply, that's all staying the same. You have to pay for advertising if you're McDonald's. Maybe just like, take the money out of the advertising budget because everyone knows what fucking McDonald's is. Jesus. Like, you don't need to advertise McDonald's. And other than that, I think everything about this one is positive. So make your own judgment. If you don't think people should be making more money, that, maybe they can't get a better job for whatever reason. Maybe their parents got sick when they were in college and they had to drop out, and now they're stuck working at Fred Meyer's or something. Like, there's opportunity for advancement, but in the meantime, before that, maybe they've gotten a promotion or two. Like, it'd be nice to be making more money, like, and have, a way to sustain yourself. Anyway, all right. So ballot measure 4, I just wrote save the salmon. It's let's see here. The Bristol Bay Fishing Reserve is trying to make it so that big mining industry moves have to be passed through legislation, like okayed by legislation before they can start operating. And I think this is good because Alaska's been a fishing state for a long time. Fishing is a huge part of our economy, and you can't just disregard what's been consistently a strong force in our economy and our GDP for like dozens of years, and then just be like, well, we're gonna get a cash grab off of this gold mine that we found, so let's just jeopardize all of that, because that's a pretty short-sighted way to think about it. I guess, yeah, that's all about that one. All right, so now we got the Senate race. We got actually like electorate races. So we have Begich versus Sullivan in the Senate. So this is basically the only reason this is like super important. I guess all of them should technically be super important, but the Republican Party is trying to seize the Senate right now. And if you basically, all I can say is just kind of disregard some of the ads that you've seen about Mark Begich and Dan Sullivan, the negative ones at least, because Mark Begich voted with Barack Obama 97% of the time. He doesn't care about Alaska. The guy is a Democrat. Like, he's going to vote with his party most of the time, unless he feels like it's really something that is not in favor of Alaska. And the Obamacare thing, okay, like, so many, and when it says he was the deciding vote for Obamacare, so many other senators voted for that too. You could put that weight on any individual's shoulders because it won by one vote. Okay, so that's kind of like a misleading way to put things. And yeah, if you lean Republican or if you lean to the right, then you're gonna vote Sullivan and give the Republicans a chance to control the Senate. If you lean left, you go for Begich. All right, the House of Representatives, you got Young versus Dunbar. And by the way, there are other candidates that I'm not referencing here because, not that I don't think any of them have a chance, but I kind of don't. Not at this point in time in American culture. So we got House of Representatives Don Young versus Forrest Dunbar. And this is probably the one I know the least about. All I know is that I've heard a lot of cool things about Forrest Dunbar. He's like 30 years old, really young, got a lot of pep, and he's got a lot of good, like, really strong ideas. And I'd like to see how I can put them into practice. And then with Don Young, we got a guy that's like, he's been around Alaska forever, but, he's kind of getting up there in years. This is just my opinion, that, like, we got to get some fresh blood making some new changes, because I don't really like the way our country's headed right now. I think that more decisive things need to be done, and we can't be regressing backwards, which kind of seems to be, like, what a lot of Republicans think needs to happen. And the other thing about so Don Young, he had that whole fiasco where he went to Wasilla High School, and he was like, yeah, if your friends killed themselves, it's probably partially your fault. And that's like, what the hell? Like, how can you say that? This kind of shit that's like, no one wants to hear that, and you're not making a good case for yourself. All right, so this is probably the biggest one to me, the governor race. So we've got Walker Malott running on no ticket. We've got Parnell Sullivan running on the Republican ticket. And so, basically, the way I see this one, and in the shortest, simplest way I can put it, Bill Walker, I voted for him last time he ran for governor. And he didn't win, but I really liked the things that I heard him say, the ideas that he had. I think he's been beating Parnell in most of the debates that they've had. And I think that the fact that Byron Malott was a Democrat, he was running on the Democratic ticket for governor, I thought he sounded like a pretty good option too. But the fact that those two, an independent and a Democrat, dropped both of their party labels to join forces because they just had an idea, like, they knew the state was headed in the wrong direction. They wanted to change, like, how the state was being run or whatever. They dropped their party labels so that they could actually work together. And anybody that doesn't think that that shows some sort of dedication or love for the state of Alaska, I don't know what to tell you. And then with Parnell Sullivan, I think Parnell was only given the spot originally because Sarah Palin decided to do the vice president thing. And I don't really think he's proven that he earns that, or he deserves that spot. Especially recently, I questioned some of the decisions that he's made as far as what he supports. And Sullivan, I think he's a decent mayor, but man, I always forget because there's two Dan Sullivans. It's ridiculous. I think this is the one that's the mayor running for lieutenant governor. And so, I don't know. I think he's been doing okay, but I don't think that Parnell is the right choice. So I gotta go Walker Millot, I gotta go Dunbar, and I gotta go Begich, which makes me sound totally left wing. But I don't really vote based on a party line. I base my votes on what I think is best as far as our state is concerned. So that's my 2 cents on it. If you didn't like this video, if you thought it was biased or too long or whatever, then F you, do your own research next time, or make your own video, because god damn it. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody.